Um, it's called Aloha. It is from
Apple.
it is basically apple juice, yes. But it's
You're
made
grown
in
ass man
Hawaii.
child.
It's made in
Ooh,
Hawaii.
fancy guy over here.
I was in Hawaii earlier this year with my brother, and since we got back, I've like have like certain foods that are from when I was in Hawaii that I had, and I'm like, this is my comfort food now. It takes me back.
So
Understandable. I can't blame you.
destination wedding then? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, no, she's she's crying. Never mind. No, we're actually probably thinking about what county is that? Oconomowoc area.
Somewhere up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Just by the name, I was like, it's got to be somewhere up north. Um.
It's southern Wisconsin actually.
Oh, okay. Well, north to me, dude.
Welcome to
I'm Michigan.
Wisconsin, where every town you can't pronounce.
I went up and I was like, Shawano. They're like, no, Shawano. Do not say Shawano. You will piss people off. I was like, but it's spelled this way. They're like, it's wrong.
Yeah,
It's
Okay. Okay.
it's culture. Get it right.
Sounds about right, dude. So let's see. Dylan, we were going over basically what you were doing for preparation for the next round. And you said Kendas you wanted to buy?
Kendas. Yeah, I'm going to be running Kendas because I ran Acceleras at the last round and they just don't have much grip. I'm immediately like, getting to my rev limiter because they just don't have the grip to the ground. So that'll be nice.
Now, what tire width are you each running?
265, 35, 18. Kenda, or not Kenda, Accelera in the rear. 235, 40, 18. Kenda up front.
What are you doing?
I was running a 265 35 18 Accelera, but I'll be running a 265 35 18 Kenda now. And then for the front, I had 255 Velino on the front, but now I'm actually going to be switching over to a 245 Kenda.
Should be interesting to see what happens.
I'm curious. I'm really curious to what you think about the 245 up front.
That's what I'm curious as well. I mean, I kind of want to see how it plays out.
The gold standard, I know at least for like cheap availability tires for Z's when it comes to Kendas is typically the go to 235, 265 front split, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So 245, 265, curious.
I know, but I mean, I make the power, so I still need more grip than most people have up front, just because I'll obviously I don't want to be pushing too much because if I don't have any grip in the front, then I'm always going to be just pushing through the front.
Remember when round one, I was running a 255 up front.
True.
Like a psycho.
All of the grip.
I was running a squared 10.5-inch setup.
You can't do that. Watch me.
Dude, it was stupid. I honestly, after that day, I looked at my tires and I was like, wait a minute, these aren't my 9.5s. I'm running 10.5s up front.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
you might as well put 265s up front too, just full round square setup.
Dude, it would be, you know how funny that would be?
I tried it, doesn't work.
That's me.
He's gonna show up to one of these open events one day just on square 265s.
No. I have four. I have four 285s. I'll run squares 285. And you know what sucks? I'll air them down to 10 psi, but they're Acceleras, so I'll still make no fucking grip. I'm never getting an Accelera sponsorship.
You'd be the one guy they would give a sponsorship. He's like, here, take a sponsorship. Shut the hell up. I'm gonna show what these tires can do.
Yeah, they're like, just stop doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, if you stop bashing us, we'll give you free tires. All right, say less.
They're the greatest tires on the planet. Really, you're running Kendas with Accelera logos on them.
Yeah.
You just spray paint Accelera over the sidewall, and then they look deeper. They're like, wait a second, this says Kenda. No, it doesn't. No, you don't see anything.
No.
I used the wrong.
We just sent you a shipment of 20 tires. Oh, my bank account's 20 tires richer though.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh God. So let's see. And the other thing I like asking this to people is, I saw at the event, I saw some people like me. That was my first event there. I just wanted to focus on watching the event. But I hear this question a lot on different podcasts and just events. Do you encourage people to come say hi to you
Yep.
and just get to know you and just say hi?
Yep.
More
You
so
know, it's
during
just
practice or during the free time. But I mean,
Yeah.
during the comp, sometimes we're a little bit in our own headspace. But more so during the practice than during the free comp. But even if you try to say hi during the comp, we're not going to blow you off. We'll still talk to you.
So listen, guys, when you're out there, especially if these guys are out early or in a set practice session, go say hi. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that are afraid to say hi or afraid to ask questions because like, oh, I don't want to bother them. Just like, dude, I'm pretty sure most of these guys are just like, yeah, sure, come take a look or whatever. Because like you guys said earlier, it's literally about keeping the sport alive
yeah.
and growing the sport as much as you guys can. So
No, it's fun. It's fun just to talk. Like as true car enthusiasts and car guys, basically. Don't ask us personal questions because we don't like talking about ourselves. But you come up to us and you're like, dude, you want to what's done to your car? Car guy's eyes are gonna light the hell up, and he's gonna be like, you want to know about my car? I'll tell you everything.
do you guys ever
Like,
see
you know
that
what I mean?
meme where he pulls
Like,
out the podium and goes, let me tell you.
yeah, like if you have any questions, come up, dude. Every car guy is really gonna at one point want to, because if it's a genuine question, we'll more than happy explain, talk, detail everything. You know, I've had some people come up and be like, "Oh, why are you doing this instead of this?" And then it just turns into a discussion of why do I like a dual caliper, like true like hydro setup versus an inline setup. And it's like then we have a debate because I know some people that love their inline setups versus their like proper hydro setup. So it's fun. If you have any questions, just come up. More than welcome. If you go up to someone and they don't treat you with greatness and respect, come up to me and I will talk to them.
We'll show them a few things. Gotta be friendly.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Dude, sit down, dog. This dog is super active. He just keeps walking around he's already knocked me over almost twice between rooms.
Yeah.
Bring the dog to the next event.
Dog passenger. Get a helmet.
Greatest Instagram clip for your page, said and done.
Oh, dude, my dog. I have like a. She's about a year and a half old or whatever. A little. I don't even know what mix she is. She is the most calm dog on the planet. You could throw her across the room, she would just look at you and then just go back to laying down. It's fun. It's fun that we can kind of like we mess with her. Like you could just pick her up. You could just pick her up. She doesn't like try to like jump off you. You know what I mean? She's just like she goes with the flow. I feel like I could easily get her in the car, and she wouldn't like panic or freak out. Like she loves car rides.
We should maybe bring her to Banger, see if we can get, a dog ride along for Banger.
Yeah, like, oh, it'd be fun.
You'll have people literally bringing their dogs from across the country just to get the dog in the car.
That would be lit. The camera footage of that ride along would be epic.
Absolutely, dude. I think you guys would just literally have people donate into your channels or your pages just to see more dogs. And you should get this collar for the dog.
That's
fine.
I think we stumbled upon something right here. Do a live broadcast every time you go to the track, and people are giving money away. That I'm in.
I see the wheels turning, Ryan.
I'm just thinking of Mr. Krabs, just money.
You know half the people that listen to this that's gonna be older reference than they are.
Oof.
I'm only 23.
God, are you young, dude?
I'm young as hell, dude.
Oh God, you're so young.
Yeah, you're a
baby.
Old.
I'm tired, but
I feel old.
Wait till you wake up and your body's hurting. Then you're actually old.
At least you don't get ID to get in, to a store.
Yeah.
I get ID. I walked into with some liquor store. The guy's like, "Where are your parents at?"
Oh shit!
Like, excuse me.
My parents are right here in this backpack.
Oh fuck, that's terrible. I'd be like, "What the fuck you say to me?"
Ryan, the guy was your age.
Oh wow, I'm sorry for my generation. We're all dicks.
I was like, how old do you think I am? 18? Damn near double that, sir.
You're like, how old are you? 19. All right, I'm younger than you. All right, old enough to be your dad. What up, kid?
Just
Oh, that's
put
a
him in his
scary.
place.
Even the manager looks at him and just goes, "Really, dude?" He's like, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "It's cool, dude. That just made my day." Like, it made me laugh because it made my day because I was like, somebody thinks I'm still that young. I love it. It's great.
Wait, so
Um,
quick question, if you don't mind, where are you based out of then? If you're not in Wisconsin?
I'm out of Chicagoland area.
Oh, okay. So like, is it Chicago Heights
Joliet.
or?
I'm over by Joliet.
Oh, okay. Dope.
Yeah, over by Chicagoland Speedway. I'm like 15 minutes from Chicagoland Speedway.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys are a hike and a half for me to US here,
Yeah.
but it was such a fun ride. That storm really sucked on travel time though.
Can imagine. That's not great.
No, it's fun though.
Dylan's like, oh yes, I live at the track.
Yeah.
In my backyard.
Yeah, it's nice being 45 minutes from there. It's really rough sometimes,
You're like,
to-
oh
Yeah.
man, I woke up late.
Sometimes he oversleeps.
right. Preparation, shucks. No, hey, I'm at the track every Friday night just so I can party with everybody that shows up because that's what I'm about. I'm about the fun. You gotta have good time with the homies that come from all over out of state.
I feel added
Absolutely.
because Dylan's like, I'll be there on Friday. I'm like, I'm gonna be late on Sunday.
You can tell you get
always
there.
shows up late.
I was like, what was it? Yeah, you showed up pretty late on event day too. I was like, he's
I
like,
was
oh,
the
10
last
minutes.
dude to show up.
He's like 10 minutes till cutoff or whatever, and I was like, I see you come in. I see your truck pull in, and Ryan's like, oh, or Ross is like, oh, Ryan's here. As
Yeah.
you're like running into the building, like, I'm
Yeah.
here. I was like, like, dude, it's 9 o'clock, man. Did you just wake up?
He does that for normal events too. He does the same thing for 93. He showed up at the end or right in the morning, right after driving one hot. It's just he's pretty bad at timing.
You
It's
must live pretty
tradition,
close.
guys. Understand it's tradition. I'm like a very
Really,
I
what
feel
he's doing. He's a block down the road in some church parking lot, just sitting there like playing games. Like, all right, we should maybe make our entrance now.
checking the watch. One more game, guys. One more.
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Are you gonna be late for your own wedding?
I should.
I'm surprised you didn't get slapped right there.
The whole groom part, the whole
Can I be late to our wedding? Damn it.
the whole groom's party just walks in late as shit.
That's bullcrap.
You're gonna find a way to make it happen though.
Yeah.
It might be like 30 seconds, but you're gonna do it.
Just give her a little bit of a heart attack.
She walks in, he's not even there. Like what?
Like, yeah, dude. She comes walking down the aisle. I'm supposed to be standing there. I'm just like eating like some pita bread in the corner or something.
Just nonchalantly walk up to the.
Yeah. Oh, thanks everyone for showing up. I'm.
As you're like putting your jacket back on, trying to get all spiffy.
Oh my.
Let's.
She might murder all three of us for that one.
That's true.
It'd be worth it though.
I mean, he almost totaled this car just trying to propose.
Yeah.
All right, so when that happened, like, I just see you stop and jump out of the car, and I was like, because I see the back end of your car and your door fly open. I was like,
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, is his car on fire? Like, what the hell is going on? And like 30 seconds later, I see some lady crying. She goes, "Oh my god, he just proposed." I was like,
Yeah.
I just missed the whole damn thing. Okay.
No, don't get me wrong. Almost everyone missed it. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah.
Whoever's right in front of you caught all of it. Was great. Even Adam's like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
And he looks. He goes, "Oh."
Caitlin has the best photo of like I'm throwing my glove on the ground and I'm looking back at my car, and then I just keep walking forward.
That was great.
That's awesome, man.
I feel sorry for the vet owner that was behind you though. He's like, "Fuck," putting it in reverse, trying to back
He
out
was
of
cool about it. I talked to him afterwards. He's like, "You had me for a second." I was like,
it.
"I didn't have my car for a second."
Like, is it going somewhere? Oh, at least the car was close enough to stop it if it had to. Maybe.
Yeah,
He might not have been happy about it, but
I'm sure
God,
that's
that would
from
be funny.
yeah. Oof.
I'm glad
But
he
I mean,
didn't have it like that.
at least she said yes. That would have been even worse if she would have said no.
I mean, I told people that day if I didn't make it past top 16, I wasn't gonna do it. And then I got to top 8, and I was like, "All right, hopping out real quick. Hope no one gets mad at me." And
Just
I didn't tell
impromptu.
Adam. I didn't tell anyone. I like my brother and my family showed up, and they weren't even gonna be there. It was going to be just me and her at the event. My parents and everyone showed up, and I was like, "All right, this makes it better."
Like, I'm
And
here, so let's do this.
yeah, and then I talked to Caitlin about it, and then she was like, "Oh, tell Adam, make sure he's not mad." Adam told me after the fact, he was like, "I almost called for a disqualification for you, and then I saw what was happening, and I let it slide." And I was like, "Thank you, Adam."
Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a way to get disqualified.
I
Get
know, right?
negated.
Because he was like, "No one gets out of the car." So basically, what I'm saying is that if you get out of your car, you better be goddamn proposing.
Yeah, and it better be a spectacle. Just make sure your car's got the hydro or e-brake on before you get out of the car,
Or
and it's
just
in
shut off
neutral.
in any gear. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
or
works
shut it
too.
off in a
Car
gear.
was, hey man, car was slowly dying anyway.
Jesus. Oh man. All right. So overall, you guys having fun in this competition so far?
It couldn't be
Yeah.
more fun, dude. It's
Oh,
honestly been
awesome.
such a perfect fucking year. Like, especially with other series and stuff kind of like being on like uh stops. Like, we don't have clutch kickers going on right now because clutch kickers is taking a year hiatus, and I was always down in Florida for clutch kicker rounds. So it's nice having a series up here. We don't have any big series up here, so that's the first good series, at least local to Wisconsin, which is nice.
Mhm.
It's bringing out good drivers. It's needed because we don't have anything really that crazy up in the Midwest besides the North Dakota series.
And that's a
Yeah.
hike and a half for most of you guys. That's a hike and a half either way.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's I'm hoping it grows, and I've talked to Adam about this before, where it's like, what's your aspirations for it? Because I would love for the series to somehow turn into a pro-am event. That would be sick. Because I would love. I told him too, because like the way we kind of discussed it is that he still wants like a grassroots feel for it. So I was like, all right, what if like you talk to the FD people and you did like a 2 day thing where it's like Friday, like a Saturday event, and do them back to back. Saturday event being more for grassroots cars, give it a little bit more rules to where it's like maybe it's tire, maybe it's power, whatever it is, like what he's got kind of going on right now. But then on a Sunday, be like, all right, if you want to get your pro license or your pro am license, there's a whole different series for that for people like me and Dylan that are either building higher horsepower, more capable cars, or people that already have it, Dylan. And then we have our own series. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
that'd be pretty neat. That'd be actually really neat.
because
And to be
Yeah.
part of that
like
too.
it's like how Texas Street Legal has their grassroots or street legal series, and they have Lone Star Pro Am series to get your
Mhm.
pro license. So it would be sick if there was something like that, because then it would save so many people up here travel time, distance,
Yeah.
all the stuff to go get a pro license. And that's always been my end goal, is to eventually get to at least prospect for a couple of years and see what I
Yeah.
can do.
You know what the cool
No,
word would be? Pro.
right.
But yeah, like to make that happen, like it would be neat because right now what I'm seeing is some of the guys I'm following, just like watching their journeys of and learning from, is they're traveling thousands of miles to go to an event where they might not even get to go and compete
Right.
for some whatever silly reason.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because that series runs it this different than they
Yeah.
do, and you're building your car to FD spec.
Mm-hmm.
Or like some of the 50Ks, there's so many drivers that showed up. Like I think it was last year more than this year. But there's so many drivers that showed up when they qualified and stuff like that. You just might not qualify enough to even get in the show. So you just drove however far to just do a couple qualifying laps in practice, and you don't even get to compete.
Yeah, and you already paid for your hotel room and everything for the weekend or whatever, and
Exactly.
thousands of dollars in gas. I
Mhm.
think that'd be a neat, like, bring it local, and plus it'd be kind of neat seeing it where it'd be like your Midwest region to have, and your family and friends can come see you guys more at the
Right.
events. It'd be more reachable because I don't feel like, actually I can say this pretty confidently. Not everybody has access to a truck and trailer where they
Got
feel
it.
comfortable leaving
Yeah.
their car, their equipment, their tools, everything inside, on a trailer that's not enclosed.
Right.
Mhm.
Like I feel like most of you guys can afford to save up your taxing where you're an hour away. You can haul a trailer for the day or for the
Mm.
weekend, and it's what, $150 versus 40 grand for a decent truck and a trailer.
Right.
It just sucks though, because like a lot of people I feel like don't put in that into their budget, like things like that. Like when you're building a car, you really have to put into perspective how much it's going to cost you to run that car, and on top of, like, no matter what car whether it's high horsepower car, low horsepower car, you got to really do that math. Because even Belusi, my first drift car, on a good weekend, for only one day, truck, trailer, travel, all that stuff, housing, food, it's tires. It still costs you entry fee. It still cost me, I think it was like, if nothing broke, it was still at least a $900 day.
And that's like, I'm sure that's you eating a limited budget.
Yeah,
Like,
like that's like, dude, that's eating Quick Trip there and home. That is
Yeah.
that's 6+ hours of gas. That's just,
Mhm.
and that's if nothing breaks.
Right.
And that's if I only go through 2 tires. Now, if something, it is just, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people need to really sit down with themselves thinking, what's my budget and what's my duty of like care for my car? If you have a Z, for example, you can typically go up there with enough spares in your Z if you want to drive your Z. But once you start going with these crazier builds and stuff that some people that I see doing, but they're like, oh yeah, I'm driving it there, and then I see their car, I'm like, dude, your car is running on 7 cylinders, it's about to blow up, and you have to drive this thing back home 2-3 hours plus.
That's wild.
You got, like, it just wouldn't be me, because if I didn't have a trailer, honestly, if I didn't have a truck and trailer, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Simple as that.
You don't push yourself or push your car as hard if you don't have a reliable means of transportation to and from the track,
Yup.
because you have to baby it. I feel like that's one of the most important things, is getting a reliable means of transportation to and from the track. That should be one of the first things you do when you're trying to build a program or just come out and have fun, because you need to be able to get it to and from without being like, oh shit, my stuff broke. Do I have any buddies that could tow me back home? Because now you're trying to rely on other people because of something that you should have foreseen.
Mm-hmm.
especially on like a Sunday afternoon, it's 5-6 o'clock. Most people want to go home, unload,
Exactly.
and get ready for work the next day.
Yup.
Let alone now they gotta drive you 2 hour, come back, load you. So now they're getting home at 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And most of us has to work on Monday morning, so it's not
And
great.
don't be wrong, for the guys who can do that, that's awesome. That in the event something goes wrong, let's say, Ryan, your truck doesn't start, and somebody can, I'll come leave the truck at US AIR. I'll come back and pick you. Like, in that case, yeah, it's awesome that you have the community to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like that's a huge thing. I hear a lot of younger new class of people going, "Oh, I'm just gonna get in a drifting car's gonna cost me 10 grand.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you 10
Entry,
grand
this and
car.
that." Like,
It's gonna cost you $1,000 an event. And then if you want to not have to have that worry of, if something breaks down, I'm effed, you're spending 20 grand on a truck and trailer setup.
Yep.
plus
So
the
your
wear and tear on the
$10,000
car.
car is now $30,000 in car, truck, trailer. And now let's say you even do 5 events that year, that's potentially 5 grand. So now your 10,000 I want to get in the drifting is now 35 grand of now I'm committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to one, I think it was Circle of Drift or whatever. And he
Mhm.
was talking about, he goes, what a lot of guys don't get is It's you have a crew. It's the food, the snacks, the water, the ice. It's all the nickel,
Yep.
like the small stuff nobody's considering.
Oh,
And
that was one
honestly,
thing in the episode. Ooh, that was the turboed E46 dude. I know exactly what episode
you
you're
know what I'm
talking
talking about. Yeah, I was like, he's got great points. He goes, he goes, cool suits, this and that, like all these other things. You're not cost of your gloves, cost of shoes, like it's all these things nobody's considering.
Right.
And I was like, damn, he's got a huge point. Like, just to go spectate an event, oh, it's $50 to get in, $50 to get in, place to stay, travel, tolls,
Mhm.
wear and tear on your car, all this other stuff. Like that, like you kind of like you were saying, that $50 event for the day goes to $150, $200 for a spectator.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of guys, I feel like, which is sad because you feel like it'd be more known, but maybe it's just people not listening.
Right.
But
I feel like they don't think about it fully. They just kind of look at the big picture and being like, oh, it can't be that much. They look at the big things. They don't think about the small things that add up, and that's always what bites you in the butt.
quite a bit, quite a bit.
Like same engine swapping when it's the small things that add up that you don't think about.
Yeah, like the alternator I'm about to go have to swap out.
Exactly.
Jonathan Hurst. The Jonathan Hurst.
Yep.
Yeah. It was his podcast that he was talking about the logistics of the FD. He's like, you got a nickel and dime. You can't just do this, willy-nilly. You got to have people that you can trust, people that you can rely on, people that that will do it for free just because they're your friend versus, trying to be a billionaire.
That dude is freaking great because when he was in
I
Pro
love
One,
it.
he was showing up with a freaking open trailer to the freaking
Yep.
events and just throwing down heaters. And it's like, what? This dude's keeping up with the pros in an open trailer.
Dude, the way he built his budget for his program is just insane.
I'm glad he brought on Mr. Cool though as a sponsor, because it's giving him the ability to grow his program how he needs to. Because he is competitive enough, he just needs to build his program to where the judges maybe will start siding with him because he's been getting robbed a couple times of a couple calls.
I've been hearing that a lot. Like just different different programs I'm listening to is I've heard that quite a bit from different sources of stuff, and I'm just like, man, give the guy another year. Like you said,
Right.
let him get the partnerships and stuff he needs and get his name out there in the professional manner of with sponsors and in the marketing aspect, so to speak. I think he's gonna be dangerous, dude.
Because FD so much doesn't look at the sponsorship, or not sponsorship, the driving side of it. They also look at the sustainability of your program. They want drivers who actually can sustain the program throughout the whole year, be able to compete at every event competitively. They don't want someone who's going to come to the first two events, be a rock star, and then can't afford the last three events. This is pro spec especially, where they can't afford the last couple events and they drop out. And it's like, well, that just really ruins their field because now they don't have a full field of 32 drivers. They don't have a lot of issue. They have a lot of issues because it's like, well, that person was high up in the standings. Now they're not even competing anymore.
Yeah, that has to suck. Just think about like that half. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm excited to see Hurst, come up in the next year or two and do it. Who knows? Maybe one of you guys will be battling him in like 3 years.
that's the goal, man. I mean, if me and Ryan can get our stuff together and build really good competitive pro am cars and actually get our pro am license, like pro spec license, that'll be the goal.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
I'm sure Dylan will rant onto this soon, but like we actually both plan on kind of like rebuilding both of our cars come this off season. So we're gonna kind of jump up the level of grassroots from like granted we'll still be doing daily drift next year and stuff, but instead of having a car that's still front rad and full frame railed still it's gonna go things like tube front end, tube rear end, rear mount radiator, the whole 9 yards of getting the chassis exactly where you'd want for those type of series.
Basically building a Justin Ruth car.
Yeah.
I could go check out his file some more because I saw one or two of his pictures. I was like, all right, well,
yeah,
I need to look more into this guy because he seems like a monster and his car is pretty kick ass from what I saw.
Yeah, he's got a winter's quick
super awesome.
He's His build is definitely over the top, and it's fantastic. I love it.
This smiles. I love it. It's so awesome. It's so awesome.
And he's a super cool dude too. Like you wouldn't expect someone with that level of car to be as humble and just chill. Like I walked up to his trailer and we were just talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, which car is yours?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," because he ran me earlier in practice, and we're just shooting the shit. He's telling me about his car, going over everything. You know, that car is amazingly built.
I'm super excited to see some more info on it because I find for me it's like just the builds and people's stories I find even more interesting than the sport.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, like I love the sport, but just seeing how people got there, why they're doing it, their builds,
Oh yeah,
and the support systems is like I find super fascinating.
exactly. That's the best part is hearing why they got there, how they got there, all that fun stuff. Because I mean, that's the best part. You know, just what made you want to do that, or how did you get to do that?
Absolutely. Well, we'll
Also,
get
I feel
into
like drifting.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like drifting has probably one of the best communities in a sense of you. I don't think any other motorsports have such a drastic range of characters. You
I
have
grew up
people
around drag racing, and I can say drag racing for absolutely not the same thing. Like you don't have that community aspect.
yeah. I feel like for drifting, you get people from all walks of life that have, there's been recovering addicts that I'd met drifting that are like, yeah, without cars, I would probably be dead. I have had,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just the craziest ranges of people that have been like, oh yes, I used to do this, I used to do that, and it's like, how did you find drifting? And it's like because of drifting they're the person they are now. It's fun, and the stories that come along with it are just goddamn crazy.
Which I think is it's awesome. Like you were saying, just the variety of what the sport brings,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a huge family thing. It's super family friendly, animal friendly.
Right.
Like what other events can you really go sit 5 feet from the track with a kid, and the driver's not get mad that the kids are getting close to the car? And
Exactly.
outside of it, the car's hot and like, hey, like the car's hot, the exhaust hot. Like other than that, like I don't see many other motorsports where people are like, oh yeah, put the kid in the car, let him sit and play with stuff, and you've got
Mm-hmm.
essentially what I would say 50, 60, $100,000 car that you built yourself, or is your hard-earned
Right.
money over time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're getting a little low here. I'm getting ready to go eat. It's a little hot in here, so we'll have to definitely connect up again on an episode
Oh,
where we can, let's say, dig a little bit more into you guys and some free fun stuff. But socials, you guys want to connect your socials so people can find you, follow you, interact with you? Let's go, Dylan.
okay.
Pick it up.
Just Dylan Schultz on Instagram. That's basically the main one I use for, I guess, my drifting and all that stuff. I don't really share much on my Facebook. So,
And Ryan, what about you?
Ryan Kost on YouTube, and then Instagram Ryan Kost 42. I post a lot of vlog content on my YouTube channel about us going to events, and then on my Instagram, it's more of just kind of like one-off snippets of like what's going on with the cars, what's going on in my personal life, and then on top of that, Kost Parts and Racing on Instagram for the kind of like the team side of things.
Awesome. I'll make sure I link all those up. Just so we don't get cut off because this doesn't show me a timer after a minute. I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm glad you guys have had a fun time at Daily Drift so far. And I look forward to seeing you guys out there catching up. And anybody listening, feel free to connect to these guys. They're super friendly, super easy to talk to. You guys go kick some butt next round.